Good morning, everyone. It is Wednesday, November the 13th, 2019. It is currently 8:15 a.m. Central Time. Well, this is a live broadcast. If you listen to a recording of this live broadcast, you'd like to be able to listen to, listen to the live broadcast when they're actually live and listen to everything else that we post and everything else that we upload. Please take a few minutes, go to the Apple App Store or the Google Play Store. Do a search for Spreaker. That's Spreaker. Spreaker. Download the Spreaker app. Once you've downloaded the Spreaker app, look for VBC, which stands for Victory Baptist Church. VBC. And then, you can select us, favorite us, and you can look at all of our podcasts. Make sure you follow us. And, then you can keep up with everything. If you need any help, email me at newsif@yahoo.com, newsif@yahoo.com. We'll be talking more about the church app, the Spreaker app, and a lot of other things, and a future app update. But for now, sadly, we have to turn our attention to a crazy situation. Now, whenever you find a news story that seems outrageous, seems absolutely insane, seems almost too crazy to be real, you have to try to restrain yourself, because you can take the one news story and then, sound an alarm that the end is near. You have one news story and you're like, that's it. The world is coming to an end. This is going to change everything. And sometimes you have to stop and at least try to be measured and go, okay, look, this one situation is crazy. What does it mean for the rest of culture? What does it mean for the rest of society? How big a deal is this? Now, my approach to the news story that I have in front of me this morning is more like this. I have been offering up kind of a theory, kind of a hypothesis, right? I have been talking about this for a little while now, and let me try to remind you of how I see that. From my perspective, my theory is that we are witnessing kind of a change in culture, the continuing evolution of culture, all right? Culture constantly changes, it constantly moves, all right? And we have seen over time, clearly a battle or kind of a rejection of the idea of absolute truth, right? That truth is not absolute, and that truth is what you want it to be or what someone else wants to be. This idea of relativism clearly began to creep throughout society and begin to show up in lots of different places. And a relativistic worldview has become very dominant in a large portion of society. And when I say relativistic, they may argue against the idea of absolute truth or moral relativism. Well, you believe something is right, I believe something is wrong, and neither one of us are absolutely right, because it can be right for you and wrong for me, it can be wrong for me and right for you, and it doesn't really matter, because there's no any true absolute standard of morality. Morality changes, and then they will get into a discussion of what determines what is right and what is wrong. But they really argue for a moral relativism, right? It's relative. Truth is relative. Morality is relative. Now, while that is all going on, clearly that indicated society was moving further and further away from Christianity. We knew that. They were abandoning it. They were turning from it. And younger people were being raised without the influence of Christianity. So they didn't even have the influence of Christianity to pull from or still be impacted by. So we saw a change, a moving away from absolutes, a moving away from Christianity. We've also seen not just a moving away from Christianity, but a turning against Christianity, a hostility to the Christian worldview and Christian claims about truth and about morality. Obviously, if you're going to turn away from absolute truth and turn away from absolute morality, at some point you're going to turn against anyone who says, no, there is absolute truth and there is absolute morality. So we saw a turning against. But something very, and I'm throwing all that together. I'm not outlining that perfectly, but I'm just giving you kind of an overview of my theory and my view about what is happening in society. But I have stated now that we're witnessing kind of an interesting change. No longer are they just turning from truth and against absolute truth, turning from morality and absolute morality. We are now witnessing within certain parts of society a turning away from reality. Now, reality is whatever a person wants it to be, whatever they identify with. That is their reality. Now, here's the crazy part. There may have been a time that someone could say, look, if that's the reality that person wants, then let them have it. Just leave them alone. It's okay. But now it's like, no. That's the reality they identify with. And now it's your job and it's my job to go along with their view of reality. If that's how they identify, you support it, you accept it, you go along with it. To say anything contrary to how that person identifies is hate speech. It is evil. So you don't go, wait a minute. You identify that's not reality. That's not reality. Well, it doesn't matter. You can't say that. That's hate speech. Now we have a battle or a turning away from reality, which should cause everyone to go, wait a minute, time out. Okay? Even if you're the most liberal person, not a Christian, even you have to go, wait a minute. When we start saying that reality is whatever I want it to be, we should probably throw a red flag and challenge the culture to go, sorry, not going there. Because there was a time that if someone did not identify with reality, we didn't go along with them. We tried to help them. We tried to say, no, you need to accept what reality is, and we need to help you deal with the reality, because going against it is, detrimental to your own life, and no one is going to play along with you. But that doesn't seem to be the case. Let me give you a very important example. And I think and it's sad that you have to kind of go back to this, but let me just make sure everyone understands, all right? And I think this is very important, all right? When it comes to chromosomes, females typically have 2 of the same kind of sex chromosomes, XX. And males typically have 2 different kinds of sex chromosomes, XY, right? So you can test and see, without seeing the person, here are the chromosomes. This is a male. This is a female. You can determine that, right? From a genetic level, the way we are made up, or even the chromosomes can determine that, right? And I'm not going to get into everything about that, but you get the idea that a person is born, and from their very genetic makeup, you can determine if they are a male or a female, whether you ever see them, whether you see, even if you, without seeing their anatomy, you can be able to determine from a genetic level what they are. They are a male or a female. But in 2019, if a person doesn't identify with what they are at that very core level, well, guess what? They no longer identify as a male, even though they have the chromosomes that show they're a male. It doesn't matter. They don't identify as a male. And guess what? Now they want to be referred to as a she, and everyone else must go along with it. Oh, you don't want to be a he? You're now a she. It's my job now to refer to you as a she. Even though you're not a she, it's my job to go along with it. And this is even before they go through any transition. Just if they seek to identify that way, we must all play along. Instead of pulling the person aside and go, look, man, okay, I don't know you very well, but I want the best for everyone. Let me just tell you, you're not a female. Right? Why are you not identifying that way? I can't understand your feelings. I'm not denying that you don't feel that way, but we need to help you try to deal with what you really are and accept what you really are and be comfortable with what you really are. But see, for me to say that is considered hate speech in 2019. I'm like, no. You don't know what they are. They know what they are. And if they don't identify with what their genetic makeup is, then their genetic makeup is incorrect. And they should do everything. They should have the ability to do any kind of surgical procedure to their body to make their body look like they feel it is. Even though that's not how it is, they can remove, add, they can put chemicals in their body, whatever they need to do to make their body conform to how they feel. even though that's not what the body actually is. It's a crazy dynamic. And again, I want to make sure this is very clear before I get to this news story. This is not about religion. This is not about Bible verses. This is not about Christianity versus the world. I'm not approaching it from that level at this point. I'm not going to sit here and quote scripture. I'm not going to quote Genesis. He made them male and female. I'm not going to get into all of that. That's a whole different level. What I'm trying to do is, wait a minute. We have a genetic makeup that says someone is a male, and that person doesn't identify as a male. Their body, their anatomy says they are a male. They don't feel like it. So now I'm supposed to support the fact that they don't feel the way they actually are, and then support them doing all kinds of things to their bodies, placing chemicals in their body and have surgically removing and adding things to their body that was not there, is not a part of their body, simply because they don't feel a certain way. That is a battle against reality. It's not about religion. It is about reality. It's about I cannot stress that enough. When I approach this issue from a cultural perspective, I don't approach it by quoting scripture. That's not, we've got a culture that already rejects the Bible. They reject Christianity. We have to start with, I think, something more basic. What is real? Let's get back to reality. But that approach is not working either. The scripture approach is not working. We have a society that is now saying that they get to determine what is real. And let me show you how far this has spread. Now, again, this is one example. One example. I'm not saying this is going to show up in every school, on every street corner in the world, and we should all start going crazy. But it is something to be on the lookout for, because society is moving away, again, from absolute truth, absolute morality, and I believe they're moving away from our absolute truth, absolute morality, and they're now moving away from reality. Reality itself is now being denied and is under attack. This is a cultural trend we need to continue to watch. But let me just give you one news story to show you what I mean here. Here is the headline. 6-year-old girl is taught girls are not real. Parents file suit against school, principal, and teacher. Now I want you to imagine that. You have a 6-year-old, you send them to school, and all of a sudden you find out that they're being taught, hey, girls are not real. There are no girls. There are no boys. Wait. What? First of all, they're 6. Can't the school find something else possibly that they need to learn? Maybe some reading, some writing, some arithmetic, maybe some very basic stuff. Maybe those fundamentals. But now I guess a fundamental part of curriculum is letting a 6-year-old girl know, hey, girls are not real. Well, let's read this story. This was posted Monday, November the 11th, 2019. The parents of a Canadian 6-year-old girl have filed a lawsuit against the school board, principal, and teacher of the school where their daughter was allegedly being taught there's no such thing as girls and boys. According to the Christian Post, the teacher played a YouTube video for the class on gender called He, She, and They. Gender, queer kid stuff, number 2. Now, according to the Christian Post, the teacher at this school, it's a public school, played a YouTube video for the class on gender called He, She, and They. Gender, queer kid stuff, number 2. Well, guess what I have for us today? I have the audio from that video. It is 3 minutes and 27 seconds long, so we're going to listen to it. All right? If this is a video that was supposedly played, let's just not report it. Let's listen to it. Let's see what's said. Let's hear. And just imagine this supposedly was played for a class where there was a 6-year-old girl. 6 years old. Of all the things you could be doing with that 6-year-old involving in school, this is something that is, now again, this is in Canada. I'm not saying it's going to be in every school in America. Okay? I'm obviously here in Texas. I'm not super concerned that this is showing up at a school in Texas tomorrow. But this is a trend. When a trend begins in society, we need to watch where it's going. We need to know. We need to understand the times in which we live, and we need to know how to respond to it, not only from a biblical perspective, but from a logical perspective. Christians are going to have to speak up. Christians, it seems like Christians should be the ones who have a firm grasp on reality. We should. Right. Now, we could argue sometimes Christians don't either, but that's a whole different story. All right, here we go. Let's listen to this video again. Let me pull up the name again. Again, this was the video that was shown in this school to a 6-year-old girl. The name of the video is called, it's a YouTube video for the class. It's on gender, and it's called He, She, and They, Gender, Queer Kid Stuff, number 2. Here is the audio from the video, and well, we will discuss it. All right, here we go.
Welcome to Queer Kid Stuff. I'm Lindsay and this is my best friend Teddy, and today we're going to talk about gender. We all are part of one big family. Gaming's happy. Queer kid stuff. You are enough here at Queer Kid Stuff.
Lindsay?
Yes, Teddy?
You're a girl, right?
That's right. Why do you ask?
Well, you have short hair and you're wearing a tie. I thought only boys have short hair and wear ties.
You make a really good point, Teddy, but just because I'm a girl doesn't mean I can't wear those things too, or anything else that I want to wear. If they want, girls can have short hair or long hair, or wear tiaras, or bow ties. You can wear whatever you want, no matter if you're a boy or a girl.
But boys can't wear dresses, can they?
Well, why not? You should wear whatever clothes make you feel like the best version of yourself. It's the same for colors and toys too. You can like whatever color or toy that makes you happy.
But Lindsay, I still don't know if I'm a boy or a girl.
Well, Teddy, did you know that some people aren't boys or girls? Some people are boys, some people are girls, and some people are people. There are also people who are trans or transgender. People who are trans do not identify with the gender doctors tell them they are when they are born. But we're going to talk about what it means to be trans in a later episode.
Okay, I think I understand, but all of this is a little confusing. If there are boys and girls and people and all of them can wear ties and dresses, then how can I tell who is what gender?
That's actually really easy, Teddy. All you have to do is ask someone what their pronoun is. A pronoun is the word you use to talk about someone when you don't use their name, like he for boy, she for girl, and some people use they. When you meet someone, just ask them what their pronoun is.
Lindsay, what's your pronoun?
I use she. What's your pronoun, Teddy?
I don't feel like a she or a he, so I guess my pronoun is they.
That's really awesome, Teddy. Okay, so now we want to know your pronoun in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel for new videos every Wednesday. And if you want to learn more about gender, you can ask your grown-up questions, or you can have them print out our activity sheet down below. And I just want to give a huge shout out to our patrons over at patreon.com who give every month and help us create these videos. All right, see you next time on Queer Kid Stuff.
Well, there you have it. He, she, they. You choose your pronoun. Now remember, this is for a 6-year-old. And if you listen to the beginning, gay is happy. You know, hey, this is for queer kids, right? Gay is a positive thing. Gay is positive. A boy can wear a dress. Just wear whatever makes you comfortable. Who cares if there's any, negative cultural ramifications for doing that? It's all, just do whatever you want. Now, listen, I want to make this very clear. I do support strongly the idea that sometimes there is a push for a, how can you call it, gender stereotypes. Like, if you're a boy, you better go outside and play in the dirt and play with trucks, and you better go hunt, because if you don't, you're not a boy. I hate that idea, because that sometimes, I think, causes gender confusion. Because if you're a boy and you go, well, I don't really like to go outside and play in the dirt, and I really don't want to play with trucks, and I definitely don't want to hunt or kill an animal. I guess I'm not a boy, or I guess I'm gay, because I was raised in a culture very much like that. If you didn't do certain things, then you were gay, and I like, that's no. There should be a freedom to be who you are, definitely. But at the same time, you have to realize that there are negative consequences if that boy wants to wear a dress that may not be such a positive thing for him. But they're going beyond just trying to free someone from supposed gender stereotypes to freeing someone from gender. Hey, you may be a boy, you may be a girl, or you just may be a they. And how do you know if someone's a boy or a girl? Well, you don't know by looking, you don't know by assuming, you know by asking them their desired pronoun. So now we're in a culture where you get to pick your pronoun. Hey, don't refer to me as he. No. You ask me my pronoun. Okay, I get to determine, and I may not be a he, even though I am a he. Even though that's what I was, even though that's what my genetic makeup tells me, my chromosomes tell me that I'm a he, my anatomy tells me a he, but if I choose to be a they, you must go along with my pronoun. Even though if my pronoun goes against reality, you must assume and accept my reality. You must go with the they pronoun. And so you have the child in that video who, hey, I don't know if I'm a boy or a girl. Okay, well, then your pronouns are they. And wonderful, that's wonderful. It's not, wait a minute, you don't know if you're a boy or a girl? Hey, let me explain how this works. You are a girl, you're female. That's what you are. Now, why don't you feel that way? Well, you're 6. So let's just give it some time. Okay. Whatever the age is, let's give it some time, because, as a young child, you may feel like you're Superman. You may feel like you're Spider-Man. You may feel like you're a ninja. You may feel like you're a turtle. Let's give it some time. Let's not get you too, confused here. But if you ask me, yes, the parent should be able to say, you're a boy, you're a girl, okay? What your anatomy is and your genetic makeup is. That's what you are. But we live in a society, just note, it's so subtle, and it sounds so happy and so cheery. And listen, they receive donations from people. People are giving money so that they can make those kinds of videos. That should be a wake up to Christians. You better give your money to support things that are trying to combat the culture. All right? The culture is giving their money to support their ideology. Christians better give their money to support the Christian worldview. And forget the Christian worldview, just a worldview that says, wait a minute, I'm sorry, he or she. But now, we're creating new pronouns. You go look up all the possible pronouns that can be used now. It's insane. Hey, I'm a they. I'm not a he or a she. That's what is happening. Let me go back to the news story real quick. I just wanted to bring this to everyone's attention. The mother, so they played the video. The mother of the 6-year-old, and her husband initially filed a complaint with the Human Rights Tribunal against the school system after they said their daughter began worrying that she was not female after she watched the video. During the school lesson, the teacher drew a gender spectrum on the whiteboard and asked the children to pick where they were on the spectrum. Now, please note, here's a 6-year-old trying to figure out I don't know if I'm a male or a female. Now, of all the things a 6-year-old needs to worry about, they need to start worrying about whether they are male or female. Right? And now they're going to give them a gender spectrum, right? And they asked the children to pick where they are on the spectrum. The daughter chose the furthest end of the spectrum marked girl, but the teacher allegedly told the class that girls are not real and boys are not real. At the age of 6, she was just figuring out the animals are divided into boys and girls. When she met a new dog on the street, for example, she would ask, is it a boy or a girl? So she was very confused by what her teacher was saying and was struggling to understand what it meant for her as a girl. Last week, the Justice Center for Constitutional Freedom filed an amended application on behalf of the family saying that the girls' rights were infringed. It's a terrible message to be sending to girls or anyone because it undermines the value and dignity we have as humans by separating what it means to be human from our biological reality. It's becoming increasingly apparent that words like inclusive don't mean what most of us think they should. We should be making gender non-conforming kids feel welcome, not telling the majority of kids that they are less than because they don't have some unique and celebrated identity. And that's how the article ends. I agree. Inclusive now doesn't mean what people think. Inclusive now means you accept whatever someone feels or whatever someone wants. All right, there's a lot more I could say, but I want to just bring this to your attention. I wanted you to hear the video for yourself because, see, in the news article, they don't even give you a link to the video, which just drives me crazy. If you're gonna tell your readers that, hey, this is the video they were watch, take 5 seconds to go find the video and provide a link or embed the video in your news article. It is 2019. You can embed things in a website so that people could see the video for themselves, so that there's no question or debate of what the girl heard. It doesn't seem that the school is denying showing that video, and clearly the video confused the girl, and now the girl's trying to figure out what she is, and then you do a gender spectrum test for kids at the age of 6. Yes, you've lost all touch with reality. All right? There are males, there are females. Yes, there are those who don't feel like they are the sex they were born as. Yes, I don't know what that feels like. I don't understand that. But I think the approach is to help them see, let's do a genetic test and show you that this is what you are. Okay? Now, we need to help you feel what you are, become comfortable with what you are, not give you, chemicals and surgical procedures to mutilate your body and try to change your body into something that it isn't. That doesn't seem helpful. That seems counterintuitive, and it seems to go against the very nature of reality. What we need to do is support you, show compassion for you, and help you find conformity to what is real. And just understand that you may be a male, but you may not fit, quote unquote, the stereotype of what a male is. It doesn't change that you're a male. I didn't fit the stereotype. I didn't want to go outside. I didn't want to do all the things that supposedly I did as a guy. Now, there were other things that were very true to. I was very much into sports, but there are females who are into sports. So see, sometimes whatever the stereotype was, sometimes I fit it. Sometimes I fit what supposedly the stereotype was. Other times I didn't. But you know what? All the times, if I was to count all the times that somebody in high school and in middle school referred to me as a very derogatory term used to refer to homosexuals, I would be rich if I got a dime every time someone called me that, because I didn't fit or go along with what they thought a boy was supposed to be. Yes, we need to combat that. All right. Sometimes sometimes you'll see that, you'll have a boy who wants to go to dance class, and you'll have the father, no son of mine's taking dance. That's a bunch of garbage. Okay, come on, man. Come on. Okay, now that's the kind of stuff, and it only causes the boy confusion. Because then the boy's like, well, then I'm not really a boy. No, you are a boy. You just don't want to do what other boys do. That's fine. I loved to dance. I felt far more comfortable on a dance floor in a club than I did in a lot of other places. That didn't mean I was less than. In high school, they tried to put me in the agriculture class, the ag class, where we're going to be dealing with cows and I don't know what. And I'm like, no, I want out of this. I tried to get into the home ec class. Now, at that time, they were like, boys don't take home ec. I was in a little small country school here in Texas. They're like, that doesn't happen. I'm like, I don't care. I walked in. It was the only boy. The home ec teacher walked in and was like, you're in the wrong class. I'm like, no, I'm in the right class. Well, I was referred to as derogatory names because I was a boy in home ec. Who cares? I was still a boy. It was still all male. I just didn't want to do what, quote unquote, was the male thing to do. That I think has been hurtful, and I think it's caused more confusion. It's caused more confusion. That doesn't mean you're gay. It doesn't mean you're not a male. It just means you don't fit. You have certain likes that doesn't fit with a certain stereotype. That's okay. Celebrate that. Accept that. Some boys don't want to play sports. It's okay. So we need to correct that. But the correction has gone to the other level going, oh, well, you may not be a boy. You may actually be a girl. We'll start referring to you as a she, and you can wear a dress. And hey, when you get older, you can hear some chemicals, and we'll start your surgical procedure, and we'll make you a girl. There you go. Now, your genetic makeup is still going to be male, but that's okay. That's who cares about that reality? That's going to the other extreme. We need to think logically about this, carefully about this. And then after we get past the logical, careful, scientific reality approach, yes, then we can bring up scripture. All right? This is something, and every parent, you need to know what's going on in your child's education. You need to pay attention to what's happening. You need to know. Be on the lookout for that kind of thing. Look at when they learn about pronouns. See what they're learning about pronouns. All right, the whole pronoun debate. I need to do an entire podcast on pronouns. It's crazy what's happening. There's all these now pronouns. You get to choose your pronoun. So now when you meet a person, yes, hi, my name is Trevor. Okay, what's your name? Okay. Before we continue, could you please tell me your desired pronoun? Oh, okay, you desire to be a they. Okay, I'll make sure that I refer to you as a they, and whenever it's appropriate to use the they pronoun. All right, like that's just where we're headed. That's where we're headed. So we'll just have to see. All right, I'll stop right there. Email me at newsif@yahoo.com, newsif@yahoo.com. Listeners in Canada, well, you can tell me how prevalent this is. You live in Canada. I don't. Maybe this is a very common thing in Canada. Obviously, it's not common here in Texas. So give us your perspective or correct anything that I have said in regards to this story. All right, there we go. Email me. Have a great day and pray for our world. Pray for the culture. But you need to be salt and light in the culture. Don't just hide from it. Know about it and be salt and light. We have to engage the culture, engage their ideas. All right, something important to think about. All right, everyone have a great day. God bless.